Hey everyone, welcome to Tidy Talk. This is a new podcast that I started. I had one before. It was called Off the Wall, but I had to end up changing the name because after a while I went and I realized that there were a lot of other podcasts that had the same name. And if this ever does end up going somewhere and becoming a huge thing, I don't have time to be sued. I don't have the money for that. And I don't know if I ever will. But yeah. So I changed the name to Tidy Talk because my name is Taimaya Deaver. So Tidy, you get the gist. I like it. I did my research on it. No one else has that name for a podcast, so I'm very happy about that. But for the first episode and I also wanted to get into this. I want to eventually, because before I only had it on Spotify. Off the Wall was on Spotify. It's still on there. I'm not really sure how to delete it, but there's like a couple episodes that are on there, and if y'all want to listen to them, be my guest. But for this one, I want to go ahead and start fresh. I want to start this episode off, or I want to start this podcast off with something that's just real, raw and authentic, like the real me and what I'm going through and things like that, before we get into like all the jokes and stuff like that with our guests and everything. And I want to figure out, I'm recording on my iPad, so eventually I'll end up getting a nice camera whenever I get the money for that. I'm a college student, okay? But yeah, so this episode I just want to talk about thoughts and feelings. It seems very bland, but it's not. I just want to come clean for the first one, and hopefully y'all can hopefully not, but in the same way, hopefully you can see it from my point of view. I hate if y'all are going through any of these things, and I just want to let y'all know before I get into it that things do get better. And I know a lot of people say that, but it is the truth. You just have to keep on pushing forward, and you got to get through the storm. You know, life was never meant to be easy. Nobody ever taught you that throughout your life, ever. And that's probably the only truth that has been told to any and everybody. Literally, I kid you not. Life is not easy. It is not an easy thing. Like, I did not ask to be here. I did not ask to be here. But I got to make the most of it while I am here. But for right now, I just want to go ahead and get into it. Recently, I would say maybe like a little over a month, I fell into like this deep wave of sadness. I don't like using the word depression or depressed, so I just call it a deep wave of sadness, because it's something that you can always get through. You know, nothing lasts forever. But it was just a tough time for me. One day, I kid you not, I literally went to a party one day. The next day I woke up, my life, it seemed like it was turned upside down. I woke up with a heavy heart, and all I did was cry. Y'all, I'm never the type to cry unless there's something that's really, really going on. Like, and I've always been like that. Like, I barely cried, but I cried every single day, multiple times a day. It was the worst. But I did not understand what was going on with me, because I wasn't going through a situation that caused me to feel that way. I was really confused. And whenever I have those episodes, it takes me a while to reach out to people, because I've never been the type to reach out to people. And I feel like the reason why is because whenever I was younger, I never really had the opportunity to tell people how I really felt. Growing up, I could say I feel really upset, I'm really sad, and I don't know why. And the response would always be, well, you're young, you don't have a job, you don't have bills to pay. Like, what is going on with you? What could you possibly be upset about? So I would just go on about my business. And I had to handle things on my own. You know, I couldn't really talk to my sister. My older sister and I, we weren't like emotionally close when we were younger. We've gotten to a point now where we are, because we're comfortable with telling each other how we feel about certain things, and we help each other out. But Growing up, we never had that access. We never had the chance to even tell anybody that we were sad. Since we were children, the only thing we could do is be happy and smile. That's what it seemed like, and that's really what it was. So growing up, I really struggled telling people how I felt. If any of my family members made me upset or said something that I didn't like in any kind of way, like, I wasn't able to tell them that, because it would always get turned into something really bad. So I was never comfortable with telling people how I felt, even with friends, cause since I was raised in that way, I didn't even go to my friends about things. I was always the person that people came to. I eventually started getting really good with the giving advice, because I always tell people, they're always like, you always have the best advice, like you always have the right things to say. And I just tell them, like, I'm just telling you what I wish someone would have told me, or what I wish someone would tell me now. So it was always tough for me. But as I got older, I got to a point where it was like I would reach out to people, but I would wait until I feel like it was the last minute. I always wanted to give myself time to explain. No. I always wanted to give myself time to figure out why I was feeling the way that I felt, the words that I could use to help people understand how I was feeling, just so they would be able to give me the proper guidance and advice to help me through a tough time. So I never came to people in the beginning once I first started feeling upset, because I just didn't have the words to say. You try to come to people, and sorry that my mic looks like this, y'all. I have another part that goes to it, but I left it at school. Anyway, I try to give myself time to figure out, what was I saying? I don't tell people right away, because I like to give myself time to find the words to be able to tell people these things. I think I already said that, so sorry for repeating the same thing, but that's just how it is. I never come to people from the jump, because it's like, they're going to be like, well, what's wrong? And I'm just going to tell them I don't know. And then they'll be like, then how am I supposed to help you? So I just get to a point where it gets to the last minute where I really feel like giving up and breaking down, because that's when I finally understand, and I just think about it so much, and it tears me down. Like, I've always been a happy person, a joyful spirit, always smiling, laughing, always positive, always had like a sparkle in my eye. And I feel like this year, or this month specifically, it just went away. I got to a point where I looked at myself in the mirror, and I did not recognize myself anymore. And I got to a point where I stopped looking at myself. I could not stand to look at myself. I was always the type to take pictures and take videos and stuff, and I stopped for a very long time, because I hated the way that I looked, because I thought that everybody could see what I saw. I thought that people could see a sad soul behind my eyes. Walking to class, I always walked with my head down, because I did not want to speak to people. I didn't want people to look at me and be like, what's wrong with her? Like, I've had a couple people like that have come up to me and say, hey, are you doing okay? And I would just be like, I'm not. And I would go on about my business, because it's like, sometimes I feel like whenever I ask for advice, or sometimes whenever I don't know how to explain it. It's just one of those situations where it feels like, what can you really do for me? Like, yes, thank you for your advice and giving me words of encouragement and telling me that I can get through this. But it's like, at the end of the day, I sit in 4 walls, in a bed, in darkness, and I just think. And a lot of people tell me, you should get out more, you should do this with me, come out with me, come over, let's go do this, you need to get out of the house and stuff like that. But it's like, sometimes y'all hear that? Sometimes I just feel like I need time to myself, so I have time to freak out just one time. Everyone always tells me, you're the strongest person that I know. You got to be strong. You're so strong. when will I ever have my chance to be weak? You know, my one time to be weak, my one time to scream to the top of my lungs, my one time to just cry and cry and cry. Like, I'll never have that opportunity. I have no choice but to keep on going, and that's what's so tough. It's so tough because sometimes I just want to feel what I'm feeling and get it over with. I have all these distractions throughout the day, and then I have to go home and feel that. Feel the same thing that I'm feeling. But it's like, I just want time to just feel, you know? And it is difficult when you're a college student. It's difficult when you have a job. It's difficult when you have younger siblings. It's difficult. You can't fall down, man. Everything for me right now, I just feel really stuck. It feels like everything around me is moving and I'm just standing still, as if there's like glue on the bottom of my shoes. And even if I try to step out of the shoes, the shoelaces are too tight. You can't go anywhere. That's really what it feels like. And I know a lot of people can relate. And it's just like, man, I hate the spot that I'm in right now, you know? But I am trying to get through it, and I have been getting through it. My hormones are all over the place. There was a point in time not too long ago where I was feeling really good. I felt back to my old self. And recently there's just been situations that have happened, and it just makes me sit back and think too much. And then you know what happens when you overthink. You just fall into a pit and you're waiting for someone to throw a rope down. But at the end of the day, you just got to climb up the walls, because like, who's gonna save you, you know? So, but I've never been this type of person. I've never gotten to this point. Yeah, I used to go through things in high school, but it was never this strong. I feel like I was able to get over it before because I had a lot of people around me. Like, I was always around a lot of people. Of course, because I saw the same people every single day. But now it's just like, what am I supposed to do? You know? And I've tried talking to a therapist at school or whatever, and I just looked at the lady. I was like, ma'am, this is your job. Like, I want somebody that's actually going to really hear me. Someone that really cares for me. Someone that really knows me, you know? Because I feel like that would help me more than just talking to a complete stranger about all of my problems. And they're just like, I learned this in school, so let me just go ahead and slide these facts to you. No, I don't want that. And I don't know. And a lot of people have told me as well, since you're so good with giving advice, sometimes you need to take your own advice, Ty. And I'm like, dude, it's easier said than done. Okay. I try to go by my own advice, and I really do, because I'm a positive person. Like, I see positive in any negative situation, like, I kid you not. Like, I know that I'm going through this for a reason, and I sat back and thought, because I am religious, I believe in God, and I sat back and thought, and I was like, well, I feel like these are one of these situations where it's like, God is putting me through this, so I have no choice but to turn to him. I've had a relationship with him before, and I messed it up. I completely stopped talking to him. I didn't pray as much as I did, and it was like, I never came to him or thanked him about anything. But he definitely put me through this so that I would get closer to him and have no choice but to lean on him and to speak to him and to keep my faith strong in him. And I remember one day I was sitting and I was just talking to him, and I just started crying because I felt so bad. Like, I was like, I feel so bad because of the fact that you had to put me through something like this just for me to speak to you, just for me to have a conversation with you, just for me to acknowledge you, you know. And I feel really guilty, and I let him know that I felt very guilty, but my faith is still strong. I talk to him more than ever. I be talking his head off. I know he's sick of me. Like, I'm a real yapper for real. But it's nice to just know that someone is there that is listening to you and that will change ways for you. And that's in a way why I feel like I don't really enjoy going to other people for advice. Like, yeah, I'll go to other people and tell them what I'm going through just so they know, because like they have a right to know if they're close to me and things like that, you know? But it's just like you can't really do anything for me. That's what I feel like. And I'm not, oh my gosh, the way I'm saying this sounds so bad. I'm not saying it as if the people that have given me advice, like my friends and stuff, I'm not saying that I don't care about y'all's advice, and I'm not saying that it doesn't work. But whenever you're going through tough times, it just seems like advice goes through one ear and out of the other, when that person can't really change your thoughts, change your feelings, change your situation. I feel like the only one that can do that is God. And so that's why I just stay to myself and I talk to him 24/7. That's the only thing I can do. That's the only way I will get through this, y'all. I kid y'all not. If I did not speak to God, I would not be here. Not even joking. Straight up. And that's really sad to say, but it's the truth. You know, like, you, religious or not, you have to know that you have a purpose. You have to know that you have a reason to be here. You have to know, you have to have dreams, you have to have goals. You have to, because that will make you push through any obstacle that life throws at you. You know where you want to get, you know how you want to get there. You have to keep on pushing forward. You know, you cannot give up, no matter how bad you're feeling, no matter how sick you are, no matter how many people leave you on this journey. Like, you have to keep on going, because you know where you want your destination to be. And that's what keeps me going as well. I know what I want for my future. I know what I want my life to turn out to be like. So that's really the only other thing that really does keep me going. And you know, my mother, of course, I love my mom. I love that lady. Like, I couldn't do anything like that to her. But yeah, always see the positive and negative situations, y'all, because it's not worth it to give up. It's not. And that's just showing the devil that he won. And you definitely don't want to do that. You have to wake up, you have to look at yourself, and you have to be happy with where you are, because there's a lot of people that didn't even get a taste of where you are right now, you know? So you just got to keep on going. And I would highly recommend journaling. Number one, journaling. And because that makes you understand yourself a lot more, especially if you do like journal prompts. I love doing journal prompts. I have 2 different journals. One journal that I just talk about what I'm going through in my day and stuff, and then another one with journal prompts just to get my mind going, and to learn a lot more about myself. Yeah, so I recommend that. Number 2, affirmations, and number 3, vision boards, and number 4, law of attraction. But I feel like law of attraction and affirmations kind of go into the same thing. But let me just give y'all a little rundown. Me, I say my affirmations. I have fallen short on it a little bit recently, but there was a time where, you know, I was really on it. Like I was getting paid to do this. Like, I was really on it. And it's very important that y'all do that, because there's power in the tongue. Like, whenever you speak things into existence, your brain trains itself. Your brain just replays those things. It'll train itself to become that. Like, it'll train you to become what you're saying, if you truly believe it. If you have that doubt, then it's not going to happen. You know, that's why you always have to have a positive mindset. You can't be living with a negative mindset, because everything around you is just going to collapse, and eventually you'll collapse. But being positive is very important, because I feel like that really is the only way that you're going to make it through life, through a comfortable life. I'll put it like that. Yeah, with affirmations, you just write them down and you say, like, I am beautiful, I am handsome, I am smart, I am loving, I am loved, I am adored. Things like that, things that just speak highly of yourself. because then you'll see that reflection in the mirror, and a lot of other people will see it in you as well. Because that's what you turn into. You turn into what you say. And then vision with law of attraction, it's kind of like the same thing. It basically is the same thing. But like, if you want something in life, you speak it into existence. Like, let's say this. If there's a certain job that you want in the future, you can be like, you have to say it as if you already have it too. Like, you have to be like, I am a doctor, I am a nurse, I am a lawyer, I am a psychiatrist. Like, you have to say it and you have to believe it. Like, you cannot doubt yourself. If you really want something for yourself, you will push. And there will be opportunities that are thrown at you. Like, the universe will really send these things to you that will help you. The universe, well, some people would say the universe, but God will really throw these things at you, and that will help you go through your journey. It'll help you get to your destination, and it'll help you get to where you want to be in life, and to be satisfied, and for it to be a real reward. Everything you went through, it wasn't for no reason. You go through these tough times to really reflect on yourself, and it really changes you and it makes you stronger. And I truly do believe that. Like, anytime you fall weak, you bounce back 20 times stronger, and that's the truth. Trust. I've been there, done that, and I've seen that with people that are around me, family, friends, like co-workers, all of those things, and you just really have to believe it and stay positive. And I know I've been repeating that, but it doesn't get more clear than that, And then with vision boards, you can put words, phrases, pictures of anything, that you want to become. If you want a certain car, you can put your car on there. If you want a certain lifestyle, you put your lifestyle on there. A certain career, you put it on there. You look at it and you truly believe that you have it. And so that's really the only thing that helps me get through. I've done a speech on this for one of my classes, the law of attraction and vision boards and stuff, because I really do believe in it, y'all, for real. And I really feel like y'all should take this advice and start doing affirmations, the law of attraction, vision boards, because it'll really help you throughout life. And you can become anything that you want to become, real. But yeah, tough times don't last forever, y'all. And I'm young. I'm 19 years old. I have a lot more life ahead of me. And I know eventually I'll look back and I'll be like, well, it was all for a reason. I'm glad that I went through it. I'm glad that I got through it. And it just turned me into a stronger and better woman. But yeah, if y'all are ever going through anything and y'all feel like y'all can't reach out to people, always pray, always journal. And if it does get to a point where it's very very difficult for you, then reach out to someone. No matter how many times people say, I don't need anyone, I can get through this on my own. You cannot. Like, and if you try, it'll be a whole lot difficult than having someone by your side and letting you know that things do get better. And I enjoy going to people that have been through certain situations, and I see that the results were them just becoming a better person and living the life that they wanted. It's nice to go to people that have been through the same situation or similar situations, because I feel like that they really do understand. I don't really like going and getting advice from people that I hardly know, or people that can't compare to my situation, because I'm just going to feel like you're just telling me things that I want to hear. No, I need to know things that will help me get through this. I need to know that it will get better. I know that it will, but I just, like, when you're going through something like this, it's hard to believe that, man. It's really difficult. But you just got to keep on being strong. Even when you want to fall weak, you can't. You have to be strong, man. And these situations make you stronger. Yeah, it may get tiring going through the same thing or going through similar things, but I promise you, it does make you stronger. It'll make you feel inevitable, for real. It'll make you feel like you can get through any and everything. So that's, just trying to find a little bit of positive in the dark. But I am doing better than what I was before. I just wanted to get on here and like get really deep for a minute, because I never really, I don't think I really ever got deep in my other episodes. I haven't listened to them in forever, so I wouldn't even be able to tell you, for real. But yeah, thanks for listening. I hope y'all learned something from this and took a little bit of my advice, if it was good enough to take. But yeah, I will talk to y'all later, and hopefully there are a lot more episodes and videos to come. So stay tuned. I don't really have a schedule for this. I just really wanted to get on here and go ahead and start with a little something, and to be able to talk about things that I recently went through while it's still fresh on my mind, because I feel like someone can take something from this. But yeah, I'll talk to y'all later, and I'll see where this goes.